So what else? I mean, current events. What's been going on? What do you have your eye on?
Well, winter's here. We had a little bit of snow, so we had like a couple of inches. So yeah, winter's here. Then of course, right after the snow comes, we get the glazing, freezing ice kind of crap. So now the roads will be a skating rink until May.
That is so wild, Jim, because we're finally getting cold down here, but we were dealing with like 80 degrees, 90 degrees still in October, and you're talking about snow, but I guess during the Arctic. But you said in your videos that the Arctic's warming faster than the rest of the planet, but
Well,
it's
the
just
thing is, yeah, okay, let's see, today is the 23rd. We had the first measurable snow accumulation just earlier this week. That is weeks later than average. I mean, usually there's snow on the ground
oh,
by the end of September, usually historically. And
okay.
usually when you get into October, yeah, there's a good, 6 to 8 inches of snow. Temperatures, maybe 10 above for a high, you know, that kind of stuff. We're sitting here. I, I haven't looked at the report, but for a while they were talking about the temperatures getting up into the 30s this weekend,
Which is above average.
extremely above average. And as we discussed before, because there's no Arctic sea ice, all that latent heat energy is just being given off. And that's
I
just
guess we
keeping
could
things
jump
warm.
into that one. So you talked about two videos and then the Zach Labe graph. Just the fact
That
that
Zach Labe graph is just absolutely mind blowing. I mean,
oh my
seriously,
gosh,
it's
I know.
just absolutely mind blowing. In fact, Zach put out basically an update showing pretty much the same thing, and he actually used the word historic.
Historic. Okay. I
I
believe
mean,
it.
in his tweet, he said this is historic, and it's like, us scientists, we're not known for hyperbole, but it's but
Very
you just
factual.
take a look at that graph, and the thing is, look where it's at almost into November. This is practically like no ice. Look at that red line down there.
It's the
It's not.
lowest.
It's just now starting to creep up, and even then, it almost leveled off right away.
And this just goes into the decades and decades of loss. What did your video say? Decade by decade, the sea ice continues to shrink. So just the fact that, through the decades, each sea ice year keeps shrinking. Yeah. So this shows that.
I mean, take a look at the yellow line. That's 2012. That's the one that had the lowest. Even in 2012, the ice started to form up pretty quickly, right after reaching the minimum. Just follow the yellow graph. You see how it goes right back up.
Right.
But look at the red graph for this year. It's not. Also, when you look at 2012, the shrinkage began later than it did for 2020 in general.
Extremes, Jim. I mean, oh my goodness.
This is crazy. This is crazy shit. Now, granted, yes, there's still some open ice here now because we're a month removed, past the autumnal equinox, so that the amount of daylight at 70 degrees north latitude and north is reducing drastically. Plus, the angle of the sun is not going to impart any significant heat energy, so it's not necessarily going to be putting in any more heat energy into the system. But still, there's going to be some, and and you really need for this water to cool down, and cool down to about -2 degrees C for the ice to start forming. Because don't forget, ocean waters have to freeze at a lower temperature. So there's even more heat energy that needs to be removed before the freeze up can commence.
And the waters are obviously above average. I mean, we've seen those
Oh,
graphs. They're
oh gosh, yes.
dark
I
red
mean,
colors.
for to not even for the ice to not even be shooting up, yeah, there's a lot of still some significant heat energy in the surface.
This is the September. Didn't you say that? Okay, in your video, you said March is the winter, the ocean's winter. So this is the ocean's summer. This time period we're looking at?
That's correct. September will
Okay.
be the winter's, the oceanic summer is in September. It's typically about a 3-month lag, plus or minus or so.
So that's important, but just, yeah, the trend is now it's not getting back up to where previous decades you could see it's higher extent. But
It's not
gosh.
necessarily moving into the oceanic autumn. No.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, yeah, so it's just every decade in the colors just keeps getting lower and lower. And yeah, there's a big gap between where 2020 is and where 2012 is. And even the other 2010 years,
Oh,
yeah.
and this is in, the extent is in 1 million square kilometers. So, I mean, if you look at that graph, it's about what, 0.25, 0.3 maybe, and more like 0.25. So 0.25 times 10 to the 6. So we're talking 250,000 square kilometers. I mean, that's just like, wow.
Mind blowing. Okay.
It is. It is mind blowing. So it's just,
And there's less and less multi sea ice. This is like the trend. So if this is lower, then expect less sea ice. Let me see. Hold on.
it would not. Well, we're on pace to the BOEs, the blue ocean events, as we're now calling an ice-free Arctic Ocean, and the models right now are saying somewhere between 2022
Oh
to
no.
2024 there will be 1 or 2 months of totally zero ice in the entire Arctic Ocean. Usually we say ice free if it's less than, a million square kilometers or something like that, or yeah, around that. And i.e. that the ice is really relegated to like 85 degrees to 90 degrees north. Now they're saying zero ice completely, that the amount of square kilometers of ice will be zero. That's by 2022, 2024.
Oh my
And
god.
that's for
It's
like,
like right around the corner.
and that's, yeah, it is. And that's for like 1 to 2
Yeah.
months. Then they say BOE plus 5. They do BOE plus 2, BOE plus 5, and BOE plus 10. And what they're basically saying is that, yeah, in another 2 years after that, we'll have the Arctic Ocean be ice free for 4 months of the year. And then plus 5 would be 8 months of the year. And then plus 10, the Arctic Ocean will be completely ice free year round.
With no trend going back to, so there's like that downward trend. We're not, there's no, yeah, okay.
The
It's,
models are indicating that that's not going to happen for quite some time if it goes to that route. And so they're talking probably like 2035 at the latest that the Arctic Ocean will be completely ice free.
oh my god, Jim.
That has, I cannot overstress the importance and significance of such a thing. It will drastically, in fact, they're basically saying, well, it won't be really the Arctic anymore. So we're going to
No.
call it the Neo-Arctic. I mean, it's just like,
Yes, that's funny. Sorry, I know it's
I
really
mean,
traumatic, but dang it.
seriously,
Oh, I know.
I
We're in
mean,
like a new age.
it
We're
is.
going,
And,
yeah,
so
Neo-Arctic. That's funny.
it's going to drastically change the entire ecosystem. It's going to change the planet's climate. I
Gosh.
mean, you think the planet's climate is changing now? It's going to, like, what's the old saying? Is stomp on it with on the accelerator. That's just you're gonna be stomping
Yeah.
on the accelerator.
Full speed ahead, right? Go straight towards the iceberg. Oh God,
And
there's not gonna be an
think
iceberg.
think back to the video I did about lessons from the early Eocene,
Right.
where they're talking at 9C by 2100. If this BOE gets locked in, where it's Arctic Oceans, even ice free for 8 months of the year, and for year round, 9C is an extremely reasonable estimate.
Oh my God. And we've talked about that, how like it was once 3 to 5 conservative, but now we're shifting towards, uh, 8 to 9 because the acceleration level. We keep factoring in new numbers, so it's like, ching. So it's concerning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, oh my God, Jim, the
It's
fact what you just
it
said is
is
so
it is
alarming. But God,
yeah, it is absolutely mind-boggling. It really is. I mean, yeah, I did this stuff. I studied the guys. I was doing linears and P budgets and all that kind of stuff. But
you're on
to
the
now
front
to actually
lines.
see where it's going, it's like, and to see how dramatically and how recent over such a few short years, it it has blown my socks off.